So you join me here at London Road Cemetery. At the entrance is the Joseph Paxton Memorial, which is really lovely and has been restored. Joseph Paxton designed this cemetery. He was an MP, I believe, and a landscape gardener, and amongst other things, architect. And it's a bit of a building site at the moment because Historic Coventry Trust are doing a fab job in some restoration work of not just this, but the chapel that I'll walk past shortly, and the wall, and all kinds of stuff really, and some of the graves as well. It's one of the finest Victorian cemeteries in the country, to be honest. There are some trees in here that we can't find anywhere else to plant some more. Everything you see has been thought about. I think there were some modern additions, some new trees that aren't quite in keeping that have been removed. But a lot of this stuff is well thought through. The idea of the cemetery was a sort of a park as well, so there's a decent walk and some good grounds. I mean, look at some of these trees, they're wonderful. All this has been restored. This is great. It will be done middle of the year, well, soon actually, I reckon. We're in 21 now. And it's a nice old walk. It was a bit spooky in the mist, but it's good today. And there's some famous faces in here, not just there's some war dead and Commonwealth graves, but James Starley, inventor of the modern bicycle, is in here, and I will walk past that shortly, his monument. There's some crackers in here, if you like that sort of thing. There's a few goths about. Really good headstones. I think the last time I was in here, this hadn't been restored. This top level. That is looking brilliant. Sandstone. Brilliant stuff. So what I'm stood on is, well, there's Charterhouse, another project which I've done lots of pictures of. I got to go in between lockdowns to see the roof being replaced, and you can't quite see it from here, but it has been replaced now. It's bright orange terracotta colour, which will fade, and it will look more in keeping with the rest of the building in a few years. I remember talking to the builders when I was there, and they said it will look quite outlandish at first, but it will die down a bit. But what I'm stood on now is the historic entrance, the morgue entrance. So this is the morgue I'm stood on, where the horses would pull in, and the coffins would be unloaded and maybe rested under here for a bit. You can see that. However, this entrance hasn't been used since the Second World War because it was actually an air raid shelter, bricked up both sides. And I remember the contractors telling us when we were here last time that it took them 2 weeks to break the walls through. It was solid, which, did its job. It didn't get destroyed, but they left it bricked up for 80 years afterwards, which is interesting, and it stood the test of time. But now it's been opened up, so you'll be able to walk through again. It's lots of historical things. It did get attacked in the war. The Nonconformist Chapel, which is down here, got hit, and it hasn't been used since, so that is in the distance. I'll get to that shortly. In fact, I'll pick this up when I'm there. I'm just adding this clip in the middle of all that because I forgot to say that the other important thing, not just an architect and a gardener and MP and stuff, but Paxton also designed and built Crystal Palace in London, which is of course no longer there, but it was where the great exhibition was. And I think there's a special anniversary. It might be the 150th anniversary of the Great Exhibition, something like that, later this year. So I think the Friends of London Road are going to try and put something together in here to celebrate Paxton and his wonderful building. So there you go. So I'm picking this up. You can see a bit of some more restoration work. There's the Nonconformist Chapel. The bits on the side got hit and they haven't got a roof now, but I don't know, it'd be good to have a look in there. I don't think it's been in operation for some time, but it's a very beautiful building. All the buildings in here I think are grade 2 listed, and there's been very little done to them since the war. Cov Council have tried to maintain the area, but not really the buildings or the chapels. So there's a good view of that. Trying to get round before it gets completely dark, because this would be a tad spooky. Yeah, so it's a very pretty place to be. You can hear the train running along there as it leaves Cov Station, and the London Road is here as well. I'm just gonna scoot round behind here. There's a Jewish chapel, a Nonconformist chapel, and an Anglican chapel in here, catering for many. In fact, this goes on for quite a bit actually, because there's another field off the back of here, so I might divert and head back, just getting a view of this particular chapel whilst I'm here. Good for a walk anyway, there's nobody about, which is what you want at the moment, to avoid other folks. So yeah, that goes off towards the other half, and I'll pick this up once I get back round the front of this. I just wanted to do a bit more reading whilst I was walking along. Yeah, the Jewish section is, I think it's down the bottom on its own land, and the chapel is a red brick building that's down in the corner. So I haven't quite walked that far, but it is down there. You can hear some owls. There's all sorts of critters in here. But only one living person, it seems. So that's okay, isn't it? As long as I am when I leave. Anyway, whilst we're walking along, I hope everyone's okay. And ticking along in this really odd time. Yeah, it's just something walking about is all you can do, isn't it? This is a really good tree, that. Really good. Some great ones in here. Alright lads, just visiting, don't worry. There really isn't nobody about. I'm just going to scoot down to James Starley. He is down this path, so bear with me. Some really cracking trees. I know I keep saying that, but lovely stuff. Anyway, yeah, Interesting times as we enter 2021. I could do a year anniversary vlog soon, the amount of time we've been living with this virus. What a mess, eh? Well, none of us can think of a time without it now. It's really odd. Oh, hang on. I've gone wrong. Oh, bloody hell. I have gone wrong. Anyway, we can look at this instead. What a silly Billy I am. Oh, hello, friend. It's a good one, that. Oh, hang on. Got myself in a muddle in a graveyard, which is a bit silly, isn't it? Anyway, you've had some extra content. At least they've re-tarmacked this. That's good, isn't it? The squirrels are defending the area, much like they do at Priory. Look at them. There's hundreds of them in here. Good place to be. I mean, right next to London Road, which is quite a busy entry into the city. But this is quite a quiet oasis. It's really lovely, actually. That's me most of the time. They've chopped a lot of trees over there, but I think they're all just sort of like rubbishy pine that's been put in the last 50 years. They're going to get some proper trees in, like these beautiful redwoods. Really lovely. They've really planned it through. Here's James Starley. I knew I hadn't completely lost it. I just looked for a pointy monument, but I went to the wrong pointy monument. But yeah, inventor of the modern bicycle, when his family founded Rover Cars. There you go, James Starley, 1942. He passed away, but invented the modern bicycle, one of the most popular modes of transport in the world, I guess. The modern bicycle. No mention of it on the actual plaque. No, there's nothing. There is on his statue. He's got a statue in town that mentions the bicycle, but there you go. Hope they maybe could do with some plants or something, but there he is. There's the Anglican Chapel, and I will just scoot round the side so you can have a quick look at that, and then I'll head off. Fun fact, last week, nothing to do with this, last week our toaster broke. It's a good start to 21, and then the other day the microwave broke, so it looks like I need to replace all small appliances in the house this year if I don't do anything else. Okay, there it is. The Anglican Chapel that was never really used that much in recent times. It's been renovated and it's going to be used as an event space and meeting room and all sorts, really. Not for funerals. None of these religious buildings will be used as religious buildings. Well, this one won't be anyway. There's no need for it. So it's going to bring some much needed use to this lovely space. And then we're back to the Paxton Memorial, who I should have mentioned at the start designed Crystal Palace. In fact, I might add a clip in between. In fact, I will. I'll do a clip now because most people won't watch this 10-minute long nonsense, so I'll make sure to include that in the first minute. And if you get this far, then wow, videoception or something. Anyway, look after yourselves. Bye for now.